everybody. In 1964, Gilligan's Island made its television debut as a comedy centered around 7 castaways shipwrecked on an island. This year marks the 50th anniversary of Gilligan's Island, and to this day, the characters remain as loved as ever, and the show lives on in cable reruns. In a new book called What Would Mary Ann Do by actress and UW-Husky alum Dawn Wells looks back on her iconic role and humorously considers how her character would navigate the world today. She's back in the Northwest after a long absence, so please give a warm welcome to Dawn Wells. Hi there. It's so nice to meet you. Welcome. How are you doing? You look beautiful. Have a seat. So, how are you doing?
Fabulous.
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 What is it like to be back in the Northwest? Good, I hope.
Yes, and I went to University of Washington.
Yes, yes.
So I'm happy to be home.
A Husky and Cougs be nice. So that's just the way we're playing it today.
I understand you guys are in competition.
All right, so let's talk about this program that made you famous around the world forever and ever. How long was Gilligan's Island on?
Only 3 years.
See, I find that mind-blowing. It's never really been off TV. So
Never been off there since 1964, but we did 39 episodes a year.
It's remarkable.
You know, you're lucky if you get 12 or 13 now, so it was almost like a 5-year run.
So you were a very young actress. You get this part
young.
very
I was
young.
about 3.
Yes, perhaps even negative something.
Negative something.
Got this role, and you couldn't possibly have had any idea the show would run for 50 years.
We all had a bet on it. CBS thought it wouldn't last 6 weeks.
Really?
We are the longest running show in the history of television syndication.
Isn't that something?
Never been off since 1964 and in 30 languages across the world.
That is just remarkable.
Isn't it amazing?
It really is.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's funny to me to this day. I can sing the song. I won't, because that would be just ruin everybody's day.
I can't sing.
But your book is sitting right there, and I so enjoyed it. And I sort of grew up in that era where we thought Mary Ann and Ginger were our only choices. So it was, this has kind of been not only a cultural touchstone, but it's been kind of a conversation that we've had for a lot of generations.
It's amazing.
What made you decide to write this book?
Well, you're greeted with fans for all these years.
Who sing the song to you,
Who
right?
sing the song. And Mary Ann was sort of the favorite for a young boy. She would have gone to prom with you. She'd have helped you with your homework. You didn't have to take her out for a martini.
Okay.
But most of the men say to me, I married a Mary Ann. That's the woman I was kind of looking for. And I thought, what is that? What is it about that character that is kind of missing, that we sort of lost track of? And I think it's all this electronic era, divorced families living together, and mother and father both having to work. How do you manage it today? How do you get through life today? And Mary Ann was a good girl. She had manners, and she was dependable, and she shared the chores. And it's kind of how to exist today. I'm not a therapist or anything, but how to exist today. And
that sounds like pretty good advice, though.
Well, it is,
advice.
and finish the job. If you start a job, do you walk away halfway through the dishes? Do you have to be first in line all the time? Really. I mean, think about it, and I don't think we have time to necessarily spend with our parents. It's all kind of done with your siblings or your friends.
Or by yourself. Even when you're communicating with your friends over electronics, essentially you're alone with your phone. And we all talk about this, but we're not entirely sure what to do about it. And so one of the things that was great about the book is that you put us in various real life situations and kind of talk us through. Was there any one incident or observation that sort of made you think, what I want to do is I want to explore this topic?
Not one, but I've had people say to me, I was an abused child. You were my escape. My parents were working, and I'd come home. My sister and I would watch the show. The hope or the dream that Mary Ann created, the show created, not just Dawn. The escape, there's no reality there. Coconut cream pie, where'd I get the cows?
Where'd the crust come from? But who cares as long as there's pie?
That's right. So I think it's kind of worthwhile. It took me about 3 years to put together what I wanted to say. I'm very proud of it. And you can flip through it. You can see chapter 7 that says fail, fail, fail again. You're never going to learn unless you keep failing. That kind of thing.
So if you had to maybe pick 3 things that you would like to offer up, and maybe to young girls who look up to you, and we want them to read the book as well, not just people like me who grew up with the show, but the newest generations, what kinds of things would you think are most important out of this book?
I think finishing a task is very important. Everybody has a little bit of dream. It's work, not a theory, what you're going to have to do. I think etiquette and manners always work, no matter how old you are or what you're doing, that manners thing. And
which isn't really optional. That's how we get along with 7 billion people in the world. So I agree.
Yeah. And
Let me just double check that one.
7 castaways trying to get along. Now it's how many continents trying to get along. I think the bullying and things that are happening, it's not all about you. And I don't know whether I really address that in a specific chapter, but
well, it comes through loud and clear, and that's, you know, that's really wonderful. And just for fun, because well, I can't imagine anybody hasn't seen Gilligan's Island, but we just thought it'd be so fun to look at a clip, so here it is.
And there still is no word on the fate of the passengers and crew who were aboard the small sightseeing boat, the SS Minnow, when she sailed last Tuesday from Honolulu Harbor for a 3-hour island cruise. The crew consisted of a young first mate named Gilligan. His skipper, Jonas Grumby, is an old salt in these waters. The passenger list included one of the world's wealthiest men, billionaire Thurston Howell III, and his socially prominent wife, the international hostess Lovey Howell. Also aboard the missing boat were Miss Mary Ann Summers of Winfield, Kansas, and Miss Ginger Grant of Hollywood. Mary Ann Summers, an attractive young brunette, is employed at the Winfield General Store. Glamorous Ginger Grant, of course.
So when you see that, what comes to mind?
well, they kept saying, where'd Mary Ann come from? And sometimes they say I was a secretary. No, I was where was I employed? Where'd they say I was employed?
A general store. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, every other character, there was a professor, there was a movie star, there was a skipper, there was a millionaire. Mary Ann just came from Kansas.
We weren't sure.
So I had to kind of create who she was. Yeah.
Her backstory.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I can't think of anything cooler for an actor than to create a character that we love, you know, decades later. So congratulations. I'm glad you're back in town, and thank you for making time for us.
Thank you.
Lovely to meet her. Dawn is going to be featured at 2 events today. The first is a special island-themed book signing at 1 p.m. at Tacoma Cabana, which sounds like a lot of fun. And then tonight at 7, she'll be at Black Rapid Studios in Seattle. Details for both events will be on our website for you. Please check it out. After the break, Attorney General Bob Ferguson with an important warning about charity scams that take advantage of your holiday spirit. We'll be back with that in a moment. Thank you so much.